Hey, kid. Nice ride. Can you race it? We'll see about that. Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland, Season 9, Episode 4, Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm your co-host, Denali.
I'm your co-host, Ryan.
And it's me, Jace.
Jace, you had me so nervous with that pause. I wasn't sure where we were going to go, but I'm glad we played it straight this time.
We're a mean ragtag of the streets crew, and we boost cars.
Yeah, I'm the electronics expert. I hack into the cars to make them unlock.
I'm the explosive expert. I put grenades on our enemies' cars.
Yeah.
I'm the one that moved to Florida.
Yeah,
well,
so it's just me and
Denali. He's out of the game. I really miss Jace. I wish he was back on the team. None of us can drive. Welcome to our show, guys. It's been a while since the three of us, a little peek under the hood here, have recorded together, but it's good to be back after the GBGBs hashtag summer break. But we are a podcast that reviews marathons, 10 movies of a similar actor or subject. And what is our subject this season, Ryan?
That was a car noise.
Yeah, I liked how you tapered off at the end. This was getting farther. Yes, it's the car season. Thank you, Ryan. We are in the garage. We're 4 episodes in to watching car movies. How are we feeling about cars as a concept? As a movie theme? How are we feeling?
I kind of hate it. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a downer.
Oof, Jace.
I was about to say, this has been fun.
We've had 4 episodes, 2 of which have been me listening to you guys be kind of angry, which isn't really fun to sit through.
Okay, listen.
But I'm, and that's my fault. That's my fault. I picked a dog. I picked a dog movie.
Like you knew what was going to happen. You picked the dog movie. Much like cars. Sometimes it's thrilling. Sometimes it's fun. But other times, it's infuriating and you're waiting in traffic all day and you just want it to fucking stop. So I feel like this season is evocative of the car experience because of that.
Especially when, like, I'm not going to say that exactly who's who, but, like, one person in our group has picked 2 movies and they've both been, like, actual car movies.
Okay, interesting.
And then the other movies we've watched, picked by the other people, have been kind of, like, not really car movies.
Okay.
So it's been hard. It's been hard to kind of like get the feel for the season, and I hope that moving forward we get more kind of like wacky car movies that are about cars.
I hope so too, Ryan. I hope so too. And in my defense, I thought Turbo Power Rangers would have more cars in it. It's called Turbo. Okay, I didn't think there'd be so much pirate ships and other bullshit with space and submarines, all right? But it got me thinking about cars watching this movie. It's because it's a car movie. You're seeing cars a lot in this movie. No spoilers. But is there a way...
Well, there are a lot of spoilers.
There are a lot of... Hey. Is there a way we can make cars better? Okay, I'm spending a lot of time in cars here in LA. I'm watching cars on the screen. I think it's time we try to make cars better, okay? Because I don't think they're going anywhere yet, okay? People don't want to fund public transit because they're idiots. Let's just try to make cars better.
How can we make Denali?
Yeah.
I don't want to single you out here, but
okay,
I think the newest vehicle you've been in is like a 1988.
It's a 2000.
Car
okay,
technology's come a long way.
Yes. Well, I would love to hear some of the new. Is there a new wheel? Maybe a new.
I think I heard talks about they're bringing the horses back.
Oh, that's fun.
Green energy.
Hay-powered vehicles.
Right.
Maybe they were onto something before.
I saw one.
You saw a horse?
I saw a horse-drawn vehicle. I was in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Driving through there, and
That's cool.
Sure enough, along the side of the road, horse-drawn a car.
I do think there are emissions with horses, and I do think
there's
those
big
emissions.
Methane.
I'm a fan. I'm down with that. I was also thinking maybe like, okay, if we're still doing the gas-powered vehicles with the wheels, maybe ejection seat. We talked about ejection seat with other vehicles in the past. I think this one is ripe for it because like
they've also got those on horses now too.
Ejection seats. That's really smart. You have to really clear the landing.
I think more screens that you can actually watch movies on. Like, they have those in the back for kids, but, People are distracted anyway. Might as well put it up front.
Yeah. We can have them like on the, the flaps that block the sun.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever those are called.
Yeah.
There's mirrors in there, and replace the mirrors.
Oh,
Get
okay.
little iPhones in
Put
there.
little TikTok screens.
Yeah.
On the mirror flaps. That way
Or
you can
just cars that automatically start playing car movies. Like
Ooh.
you fold the thing down and Tokyo Drift turns on.
And the only way out is the ejection seat. I was also thinking maybe third pedal, a new pedal.
The clutch.
No, not that pedal. Okay,
That one, those cars get a
Phase
fourth
that
pedal.
out. Yeah, fourth pedal. That one gets 4. All right, and maybe it does something else. Can you guys maybe help me?
Yeah, go sideways.
Sideways. Which way? It's just one pedal.
You turn the wheel. You press a new pedal. You turn the
press
wheel,
the new pedal.
and tires come. There's another. There's
come out.
8 tires now on cars.
It's like the extra thing so
Yeah.
the car can turn more.
Okay.
Right. It's like
Okay.
a boat, with the outriggers. It's just tires, and
Okay,
they're
and the-
facing sideways. And you press the extra pedal. You turn the steering wheel,
Yeah.
and those new tires hit the ground, and it takes you that direction.
Have I seen
And
this
the
on a
harder you-
skateboard?
Ripstick? Are you thinking of a ripstick?
I'm kind of thinking of a ripstick or that like the snowboard like
Yeah.
skateboard / longboard has an extra wheel in the middle, so it lets it.
Oh,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Okay,
You're totally right.
we can apply that to cars, and the harder you press the pedal, the more sideways you go. I think that's cool.
Yes.
Or maybe like a jump like that. You press the thing, and the
And
tires
it
just
throws
jump.
a jump.
You do a huge
Oh,
jump.
I thought you meant like it throws a ramp in front of you.
I like hydraulics that you can leap over other cars if you have
Okay.
to. Or you see an obstacle, you hit the jump button, and then you just kind of like leave it to the fates.
What about like whipping a car? Like, you know how in BMX, like you go off a ramp and then they hold onto the handlebars and they can whip the rest of the bike around under them?
Oh yeah, that's so sick. Yeah, I love
Tail
that.
whip?
The
Can you
car
tail whip a
tail whips
car?
around you.
Okay, so yeah, you put a steering wheel on the roof. So you jump the car, get out of the window, grab the steering wheel on the roof, kick the car so it spins around underneath you while holding the steering wheel.
Yes,
Get back in the
exactly.
car. Pretty sick. Okay, what about see-through cars, kind of like those game controllers, where you can see the engine and see like all the electronics inside? I think
Oh,
that'd
the
be
Mad
cool.
Cats controllers?
Yeah, like a Mad Catz car.
You know, it's
Isn't
already
that
like
just a Tesla?
embarrassing enough when you find yourself picking your nose in the vehicle and you realize somebody can see you. Like, I don't know that I want to be like
Jace does a lot of weird
see,
stuff in his
scratching my
car.
junk.
Car, listen, okay,
You
you
know?
don't have to buy the Mad Catz car. I want my car to also have a rumble pack in it. So if I want to like make it rumble,
Oh, like massage. We can have massage chairs.
massage chairs and cars. Okay, that's brilliant. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and we can have massage therapists in the cars.
Sure, I think you can probably already do that.
Yeah, but
well,
you got
fuck me
the
then.
you get the table in there too. And then,
okay, here
and
we
then
go.
in that case, you have a steering wheel underneath the table.
Oh, yeah.
and
Okay,
above the
okay.
table, so that you can still.
You can flip over if you
Have you ever
to.
seen those ballet glasses that people that do climbing
Yeah.
wear, where they're like two mirrors, so you can be looking straight ahead, or your head is tilted this way, but you're looking up. You got to
Wait.
use those.
Is that like the glasses that Joe was talking about on her podcast where he reads with them so he doesn't have
Yeah.
to look down?
Yes.
I still want to get those just for that or for playing the DS. Okay, I think we got some good ideas. Any others?
We have a severe lack of battle car movies, so when we get into that phase, weapons on cars,
Do you guys think we
twisted
could
metal,
do a
flamethrowers.
Twisted
Sorry,
fucking
sorry
sick,
to interrupt
yes.
you.
It's awesome. Do you think we could do a separate battle cars like season, like Death Race,
Mad Max. a little
Mad
bit.
Max?
Are there 10 of them?
I think there's Mario, Super
Mario?
They drive go-karts with weapons on them. Okay, weapons on cars. Car. I don't want to
net.
hurt any. A net. That'd be great. And you can still attach the rope so you can drag them and shit.
Oh,
This is for battling other
about
cars
battling
with
other
people
cars?
in the cars, not for.
why would you want to
general-
These are self-defense weapons in my head. Okay, all right. If you need to battle another car,
I think if you're putting weapons on your car,
it's
you're running aground to some.
okay. I always like the thought of like a grappling hook in the front of the car to save gas mileage. Like you shoot it into the back of a semi, and then you just
Oh,
kind of put
that's
your
good.
car in neutral.
that's not bad. They wouldn't even notice.
They
There's
wouldn't
those
notice.
stickers on the back of the semis that say, if you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you.
Oh shit, that's smart. And there's also another sticker that says, "If you hit me with a grappling hook, I don't care." And I think we got to look out for those trucks too. I think another good weapon is like a saw blade thing. You can shoot at the car and it'll slice the car in half. Ooh. And like the driver in the passenger be like, "Whoa, that was crazy!" And the car like drops down in the middle. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, screw the person in the middle and the back.
Well, who takes fucking middles? Why is there 5 people in the car when it's battle cars?
There's a fan. Oh, well, yeah, okay. Well, you said you were in self-defense.
Oh, so. We're doing like a sanctioned event.
Okay.
Well,
let's do.
I think that's the cleanest way for us to talk about this.
Okay. Sanctioned battle cars event. It's legal. We have legalized battle cars. Mm-hmm. Everyone in there is signed a form. And the people driving are wearing suits of armor, okay? Now we can have fun in this space. I think a rail gun, something that just shoots.
You're just describing good weapons.
I think a gun that shoots black holes would be really cool.
I want a gun that turns humans inside out. That you shoot it at the other driver.
Yeah, that would be pretty effective.
It makes his organs on the outside and the skin on the inside. I think that'd be a good battle cars weapon. What about like when the bass is really loud? What if you make it so loud it hurts the other people? It makes them shake so hard that their bones break.
Oh yeah, like living in my last apartment.
Yeah,
that's a sound cannon. And
yeah, sound cannon.
I think governments use those pretty frequently to break up protests. So we overthrow them and take all their sound cannon.
Yeah, what if we just buy a SWAT team car?
Yeah, honestly, you win.
We are on a new system of time, and we've spent about 10 minutes talking about battle cars.
Yeah, that's great.
This is our newer, leaner, faster podcast. It's more efficient, okay? We got 5 more minutes on the intro. This is fine. I do want to bring this up because we're going to be talking about it. We don't have to talk about the movie yet, but this is our first Nicolas Cage movie of our podcast. I do think we should acknowledge that at least.
Mm-hmm. How is that possible?
Exactly. We've
watched about 100 movies.
We've watched so many shitty movies. I cannot fucking believe it. I haven't seen a Nicolas Cage movie, I realized, in about a decade, too, which is wild to me. I think the last one I've seen is Ghost Rider.
Whoa.
So, I'm not going to review the movie.
Please say that again.
The last Nicolas Cage movie I saw was 10 years ago, and it was Ghost Rider.
You haven't seen any of his new stuff? He's having like Cage-a-sons.
Yeah, he is.
Or maybe it was Kick-Ass. Actually, Kick-Ass 2. I saw it in theaters in like 2014.
Okay.
But it's been a while. It's been a while.
But
I appreciated seeing him again.
I think that might be the last movie that he did for a while that I would even recall before Pig, which released during quarantine. And
right. So maybe he's been on a little bit of a break, but he's back with a vengeance. It's good to see him back. I enjoy him in these movies. I mean, do you guys have like a favorite Nicolas Cage? I know we've talked about doing a Nicolas Cage season, whether or not we'll do it. I don't know if it's too obvious to do it, but do you guys have works that you like by this guy?
He was in these kind of quasi-mystical movies in the late 2000s. Like
Season of the Witch, right? Wasn't that one of the...
He's talking about National Treasure.
Oh, well, sort of. I'm also talking about movies like Knowing and
oh my God.
Next.
Yes. Oh
you
my
guys
God.
remember those movies? And like,
yes.
Those were always this like low mid-budget Hollywood movie that starring Nicolas Cage, and he was gonna end up saving the world somehow. And sometimes you throw them on. Were they good? No. But like, did you end up watching them like with your entire family? Yeah. Those movies, I feel like, are relegated to like horror movies nowadays. There's not a lot of mainstream weird movies coming out. My favorite movie of that genre doesn't star Nicolas Cage, but it stars Chris Evans, called Push.
Okay. Oh, yes. Push rules.
Right? But you know what I'm talking about? It's like this kind of like almost mystical movie.
And it's kind of mid-budget, too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Push was really fun. I also wanted to pitch a season like a couple seasons ago where it's like non-Marvel, non-DC superhero movies that we could do, where we'd watch movies that are like mid-budget, Chronicle or shit like that.
That's
I love
a good
that
idea.
shit. But yeah, I mean, this movie's kind of like National Treasure if the Declaration of Independence was 50 cars and instead of clues, it was more cars.
Right.
Do we want to get into the movie?
Yeah.
Of Gone in 60 Seconds. Ryan, this was your pick this week.
Oh, so that means I have to do something.
I believe it is your turn to do the
grossly
synopsis.
Unprepared. Plus, I watched the movie about a month ago.
Yeah, that's That's cool. You know what? That's cool. This movie is all vibes, so I think you can just freestyle it here.
Man, I typed in Gone to IMDb.
Yeah.
Gone Girl.
And it's not on the first page. Wow.
With the wind. Ooh,
Yeah.
this would be
Wind.
this would be a good quiz, really quickly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Other Gone movies. Gone.
Did we hit the first two?
You've hit 2 out of the first 3.
Wow. Oh,
I think I know the third one. It's Gone Fishing.
Gone.
Gone Guy.
No, these are both the word, like, it's all the word gone. Gone is right. It's not a pun.
Gargonzo beans.
Gargoyles. Did they ever make a gore?
Okay, new game. Can you come up with this dumbest gone pun? Okay.
Gone
so
of War. Sorry. Go ahead.
One of them is literally just called Gone.
Oh.
And it stars
Boring.
Amanda
Lame.
Seyfried, and it was bad and it was not great. But that's above this movie.
Okay.
And then there's another movie that was above this, and I think probably rightfully so, starring Casey Affleck.
Oh, maybe we should do a Gone season.
Wow.
Movies
Any
with the
guesses?
word Gone. Oh, Casey Affleck has the word Gone in it.
Yep. Directed by his brother.
Manchester by the Sea. Gone.
Nope.
Gone to Manchester. Okay. Have I heard of it? Is this going to be something I've never heard of?
You'll be like, oh yeah, that's a movie.
Gone Baby Gone.
Yes.
Boom, baby. Affleck master.
Yeah, Ben. I didn't know Ben directed that. I guess maybe I did in the back of my mind, but I wouldn't have said like, yeah, that's a Ben Affleck movie.
That's fun. God, I wish I
Okay.
could play the box office game, guys. I feel like I'd be so good at it. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, you can just tell us that you want.
No,
to
I like hosting it.
Okay, this week we watched Gone in 60 Seconds. It's a 2000 year movie starring Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie, and some other experienced actors like Robert Duvall.
It's like an insanely stacked cast, actually.
Yeah, it's dope.
Like,
And it's based on another movie, but that's not important. What is important is that Nicolas Cage is a retired car thief. He's kind of
retired.
on the run. He's been chased out of town, kind of on the agreement like, don't come back now, you hear? And his brother is trying to emulate him, his younger brother. And his younger brother gets into trouble with some car thief boss guy who like wants to sell a bunch of stolen cars or something. And it's not entirely clear, but apparently his brother was supposed to steal 50 cars for this mob boss. And he got a lot of them, and then he messed up. So now the mob boss wants his cars. And so what's Nicolas Cage gonna do is, if not show up to LA and steal some cars? And that's pretty much, I mean, that's it. He's got to steal 50 cars in about 3 days, and he spends 2 of them not stealing cars. So it's one night, and they have to assemble a ragtag crew. It's kind of like Ocean's 11, but for cars. And it's pretty fun.
yeah, why is this called Gone in 60 Seconds? It's like 3 days. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Because
no...
if you have a car, it'll be gone in 60 seconds.
And the movie's like 620 seconds long, you know? Like, or something.
Yeah, it's always confusing because, like, if anything, like, gone in 50 seconds.
It could be gone in 10 seconds. I mean, I can't catch a car after like just a couple seconds after it leaves. Like, it really, I mean, some of these are 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds, man. I'm not going to catch that shit. Like, but as Ryan mentioned, June 9th, 2000. This is summer 2000. And remember, we were talking a couple episodes ago, the summer of 1999 was one of the hottest box offices ever. This one is fairly stacked too, I'll say, okay? This one opened #1 in the box office, which is surprising. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize how big it was. It made $25 million in that weekend. #2 is a sequel to a humongous franchise, okay? This is on its second week. This came out.
It's
Can
a
you guys
sequel?
take any wild guesses?
Meaning the second?
Yes, it's the second movie of a humongous franchise.
Jurassic Park 2, Lost World.
It's not Jurassic Park. I'll give you a hint. The lead actor...
Toy Story.
It's not Toy Story. The lead actor is one of the highest paid actors in the world.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2. You think Iron Man 2 came out in 2000?
It's Matrix 2 Reloaded.
It is one of Ryan's favorite series.
It's Mission Impossible 2.
That is Mission Impossible 2.
Wow.
I hate that movie. I
Really?
hate that movie. It's one of my least favorite movies ever because the
Are you
series is
serious?
almost... Yes. The series is almost flawless, except it has this gigantic dog shit as number 2.
my
And
God.
then everybody's like, oh, I shouldn't watch the rest of the movies. They're all going to suck.
Okay. Going into this movie, Gone in 60 Seconds, I didn't know what to expect until I heard the Nine Inch Nails style intro music and the long, again, intro with like all the pictures and the opening credits that lasted for like 3 or 4 minutes. And I was like, I could already kind of figure out the vibe that it's gonna be happening. This is gonna be like Gen X as fuck. Coming right after that super long title sequence, you have the first shot, which is a car. That was a good sign. It was a Porsche in a window. You have Giovanni Ribisi looking the greasiest I've ever seen him in the car, ready to steal it. I kind of liked that scene. It was kind of fun. They're just like, oh, it's in the fucking building. And then they grab like
my tool.
He just grabs a brick and breaks it open. And he's like, I might as well just call and make reservations in prison now, which I thought was a pretty funny line. What was your guys' first impression of this movie, like going in?
My first thought is like, I remember this movie being like, the premise is they have to steal this many cars in one night. Therefore, the entire how could you possibly fit all that into an hour and a half of film? You can't. So it's got to be action packed from the get-go. So I was surprised that there were slow bits. Like my childhood brain only remembered the car stealing scenes.
Okay, so you've seen this before, right?
When you said this was like the biggest movie in the nation or whatever when it came out, I'm not surprised at all because it was a phenomenon in my household. Okay. Because my cousins were visiting that summer and they were like they were waiting for it to come out on Blockbuster. They were like waiting for it to come out, and finally we would go like every day, and finally it came out and we rented it and we all sat around and watched it.
Oh, nice. Okay, Jace, have you seen this movie?
This is another one where probably on TV, bits and pieces.
Okay. I haven't seen a single frame of this movie. I wasn't sure what to think of it until I think when I saw the opening scene, I was like, okay, this movie has a flavor. It's ridiculous. It's kind of campy. I'm kind of into it. I think I bought in kind of early here because I think
I saw your text last night and you were like, oh, this car, oh, this neighborhood.
And seeing that it was an LA movie, I think was fun just for me. Just there were scenes in Hollywood. They're driving around on like the LA River and shit.
Finally, there's an LA movie.
Yeah, and I wonder if that'll feature in my meter where it's like, does it take place in the most like driving city in existence? The heist goes south, like Ryan says. Nicolas Cage gets called in. You see him on a go-kart track. That's kind of like the opening scene. I don't know about you guys, but he does not seem like a hardened like car stealer to me. He doesn't give off like a John Wick vibe. He just seems like a dad to me. I just could not buy. They're like, oh my god, it's fucking what they call it? It was Memphis.
Memphis. That's a cool nickname.
It's a cool name. I don't know if he was giving off that vibe for me. I mean, maybe it's because he's like retired and he's supposed to. They're like, oh, you look great, Memphis. Wow, you've changed. I don't know if that was like a.
I think it's more like he's always so stoic. And like he's not jumpy and stuff in the way that his little brother is. Like they're obviously trying to make a comparison because the way the brother got caught was by speeding in the new car that he just stole.
Yeah,
and
folks.
so like Memphis is calm, cool, and collected under all circumstances. And so he doesn't come off as a stereotypical like car thief because he's the successful one.
That's a good point. He's a foil to his crazy brother. I liked Nick Cage, I think, once he gets introduced into like the crew, into the situation, because he is kind of chewing the scenery in a very Nick Cagey way. I think he's being kind of over dramatic, and the way he delivers his lines are kind of like a bunch of cliches, but I'm somehow impervious to them. They don't detract for me. I'm kind of eating this up for some reason. I can't explain it. Even down to like when he's like, I'm retired, I can't do it. And they're like, oh, you gotta come back.
The Blade Runner scenes.
That whole thing. I was kind of into it. There is an evil villain in this movie who has a British accent. It's really ridiculous. He to illustrate what's gonna happen to Nick Cage's brother, he carves an entire fucking coffin to do a dramatic point.
I mean, like, respect.
And it looks great. He's got it like woods. He gets stained and like has all this inlay.
So
in it.
I did not put it together that he made the coffin, right? That
okay.
There's the evil villain.
Yeah.
And his hobby is woodworking. And that apparently was like so ridiculous that it didn't even process to me as like a possibility.
He made the coffin. Okay.
So then, this is a bit of a spoiler, but in the final scene, well, it's not a spoiler because you can bet where the movie's going. In the final scene, in the confrontation between Nick Cage and the bad guy, they get into a fight, and Nick Cage is like breaking all this wood, and the guy is like really concerned about the status of the wood. Like every time Nick Cage like breaks a chair or something, that guy's like, no, and I'm like, what is going on?
So you didn't catch like why he's mad about the wood.
Sense.
And then Nick also says he's like, I know you're a big fan of wood or something. He says some line like that, and you're like,
the last note in here is wood, and totally. And then after the movie ended, Julie explained that what I missed. So.
Okay, that's funny. I mean, not to detract, but like, did you guys all rent this on Amazon?
I think so.
Okay, because the version I rented was like the edited for TV version is the only one available. There was really weird cuts, and all of like the cussing was like bleeped out, and like there's a sex scene, and there's like blurs and stuff. It was really strange. And well, the guy also falls into the coffin that he made and dies, which I think was ironic. A bit of a Chekhov's coffin.
Oh, nice.
That was fun.
Is it a Chekhov's coffin when the character says, I'm going to use this coffin?
He doesn't even say it. Nick Cage is like, and what about my brother? And he like unveils it using like one of those car like covers, and he shows the coffin, and he's like, just had this made. And you're like, oh shit. Anyways, Nick Cage.
How does he have any time for car bossing?
Sits in there.
Yeah, he's just a dickhead.
I think he carves wood and murders people in his like smashing machine.
It's like some people start businesses where they clean roofs, and then they make a team to clean roofs, and then they can clean more roofs at one time, and then they're like, now I can just pay more people to do that for me. He's in that level of his booming business of being an asshole.
Yeah, typical capitalist. Also, a surprise appearance of Timothy Olyphant for me as well.
He was really good. The cops were really good.
They were good actors in this. I liked their banter and everything they were doing.
My favorite line came from the cops when he said, because like Nicolas Cage isn't supposed to be back in town,
right? And
so they're watching him, and so they're messing with him. They confront him, and they're on the street, and they're like, "Man, by the time you get out, there ain't even gonna be cars."
I liked that line. I wrote that down.
That was pretty good.
That was good. Yeah. He's like, if you so much as use an aerosol can outside of what is directed, I'm putting you away. That was like a good back and forth scene. I mean, just like this movie is filled with like little weird one-liners like that I think are memorable. Which
and
I think
car related.
There
was a lot of car talk in this movie. My favorite car talk. Not really car talk, but my favorite line about like just expressing what it's like to be a car guy and what car guys want to see on the TV screen is the line, I didn't do it for the money. I did it for the cars.
Right. I think lines like that, and even just like cool quippy lines, like I think that makes action movies work. I think you need to feel this like sense of momentum, and all of these characters are just like unfazed by what's happening. Everyone's just like quip, quip, quip. Even like the dialogue is like action-y, which I think is like good in a movie like this. Robert Duvall shows up.
Yeah,
which was
what
another
the hell?
Surprise. Michael Pena shows up later too. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like a bunch of like, and then Angelina Jolie, which I was not expecting either. But like, can we talk about the premise for a sec? Which is, I think is insane. I could not believe you steal 50 cars in a single day, which is an enormous, insane undertaking. I don't even know how they did that with like 6 people.
But would you go about it the same way?
Yeah, I think
you have 3 days.
Okay,
to steal 50 cars. Yes. What do you do with the first 2 days? Do
First
you steal
day.
cars or do you do recon?
First day, panic attack, eat a bunch of hot dogs.
Watch the movie Cars to calm myself down.
Second day, recon and prep. Third day, execution. And I think they did something kind of similar. I think the first day was kind of like freaking out, and they were like, oh, fuck, oh, let's call all of our friends, which I liked that scene. I think there's ways to do it faster, though. I think like giving your whole crew Heelys, I think would be faster. I don't know. I know they weren't invented yet.
Oh.
But if they were all sliding across the ground a little faster.
Or I think going out and buying a bunch of cars.
Wait, so
like what? Right?
Maxing out 600 credit cards.
Yeah. Fuck it. Your family's gonna be killed.
But your credit
Just
would be
buy
ruined,
some
Ryan.
of the cars.
You'd never be
He
able to get a
shows
loan
up
again.
at the beginning of the movie with $10,000 cash, like it was no problem. He's sitting on a bankroll.
That's 1/10 of the cost of some of those cars, even in the year 2000.
So steal those ones.
No.
He's like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to steal 4 cars, and we're going to buy 56 or 46
At the end
cars.
of it, like his little brother's fee is like $50, or not $50, 50 grand. So like, I mean, you know, what's the average car on this? 50. What's 50 times 50,000?
It's impossible to know, I think.
Can't
2,500,000?
Yeah. So why not just maybe
you know what?
buy the cheaper cars? Have one dude be the car buyer.
I think they should have done a bank heist, stole $3 million.
There you go.
And then used the money to buy 50 cars.
Yeah, I just don't understand why like the obsession was with like stealing. Some of these were not like super sought after cars. Some of these were like 10 grand.
They're like Suburbans or like just random cars. And like if you buy them new off the lot, that guy's going to be like, "Oh, damn, brand new? Holy shit, right off the lot?"
And then
Fuck,
he
man.
pays you.
Yeah,
He pays you money at the end.
200 grand. Well, yeah, he only pays you 200 grand, so you're going to be in the red. But I liked that premise. Nick Cage was like, "Can it be done?" And he gets the crew together. Ryan, you talk about you love having scenes where like the crew run down, where you're like, "Oh, he's an electronics expert," blah, blah, blah. I also liked seeing Angelina Jolie's intro scene where she's dressed in this like 90s rave clothes.
Oh my
Where
god.
it's this, but like you kind of realize really quickly that she's supposed to be the love interest of Nick Cage, who looks like he's 40 and has like 10 kids, and she's like I think 24 in this movie. It's really gross. It gave me the ick. Yeah.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie for me is an actress that's hard to like get like mental concept of what her stereotypical role is, because I've only seen a few of her movies and I don't entirely understand why she's so famous.
She's a bit of a changeling.
Nice.
It's a good pun. It's a good pun. Changeling. It's a big movie she did.
And so like I don't know whether this was early in her career or not, but this seemed really out of character for how she plays her roles normally. She's normally like the well-dressed, put-together person, and in this movie she's not.
Yeah, because I think she's not the lead in this movie, right? Because
Right.
she eventually transitioned into like where she's the A-list lead role, where I think your characters are kind of a little more like reeled in a little bit, kind of like what, you know, not to mention like her partner, but like Brad Pitt kind of had the same trajectory where he was a character actor and he did all these wild roles, and sometimes then when he became a lead actor he had to reel it in. I mean, I think Angelina Jolie is good in this. I do like her work, but I was surprised to see her in a movie like this. Like I think it was kind of early on. I was like, oh shit. This whatever the casting director was in this movie really lucked out on like early career huge fucking stars. Did you guys catch that scene about talking about family and stealing cars and about how family's not going to last? And it really reminded me of Fast and Furious. It was like a weird antidote where he's like, yeah, it's family. But it's not really your family. They're going to get shot in the life. They're going to leave you.
So you're saying this is the anti-Fast and the Furious?
That's kind of my thesis. I do think this is the anti-Fast and Furious. Like, I think Dominic Toretto is like the anti-Nick Cage.
So how would the Fast and the Furious crew do if they had to steal 50 cars in one night?
I think they'd all die. I don't think they're very good car thieves, right? Because the first movie, they're trying to steal like 100 DVD players, and they barely do it. And it ends with like 2 of the cars like running straight into a train when the train hits one of them, and that wasn't necessary at all. I think like Nick Cage's little brother, he would have been in Fast and Furious. That's his movie. But this one, he's doing it by the books, and he's retired. I think it's done right. It's done right, and
That's
I appreciated that. Yeah.
Thank you for backing up your hypothesis.
You're welcome. We're a scientific podcast. I like the technical aspects of this, like where they talk about, here are the cars we need to steal. These are the ones that are going to be hard to steal. And they actually do car lingo, like you guys were saying.
Yeah, lingo, and they also rattle on car stats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And trivia even. There's like a car trivia scene in this movie. There's like an interlude.
Oh, yeah.
Where they start like literally doing car trivia, and they ask other people in the movie who knows what.
Yeah, that was fun. And then they introduce a car with a name. Okay, this is also going to factor into the meter. Jace, this was kind of your thing, the season you pitched. But Eleanor, the 67, was it GT? Was it Shelby or something?
Shelby.
That was kind of Nick Cage's unicorn. The car he could never steal because something would always go wrong. I think having like a MacGuffin, like that in here, I think was a cool, just like an extra thing they threw in there. I don't know, it's kind of a fun heist movie, man. I liked that
all the cars had names. They like named them all for radio traffic, right? To like not tip off the cops.
Yeah, they're like, I got Doris here.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I didn't really remember that, and also made it easy for me because they were talking about Eleanor, the car, and not like the 1967 Shelby GT 500.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? What is that? Also, like, okay, we get to the scene where they steal a car full of heroin by accident, and the detective shows up, which I think is a really fun scene.
That's a great scene.
One of the idiot guys just like, hey guys, I stole a car, and it's like
an
filled
extra
with
car.
Yeah, a car they didn't need. And they're like, what are you doing? You idiot, blah, blah, blah. And then the cop shows up and he's like, hey, can I come in? And because they're all idiots, they're like, yeah, come in, no problem. You can come right in here and look around, which I feel like you shouldn't do, guys, if you're stealing 50 cars. You don't have to let them in.
Or in general.
Yeah. Especially if you're stealing 50 cars and if one of them's full of heroin. But that scene was really fun. No, where he's just like, they're having him like rev the car and blow the heroin away and shit. That was just like, I loved that dynamic and this weird, like, friendly, antagonistic, grinning relationship they have. I think all the actors, it seemed like they were having fun in this movie.
There was definitely like a cohesive theme to the movie. I appreciated that. It wasn't just like, now we're filming this scene, now we're filming this scene. It was like done. They all were tinted orange for some reason, but also like
well, that's just how LA works. It's everything's tinted orange and yellow here.
We need to keep on sketch.
Okay. Well, we should probably get to the end at least because they do.
Okay, fair enough.
They do steal all the cars, right? It's a great heist scene. They get them all. Shit goes awry. Dog eats the keys, has to shit them out. They grab the keys. No time to talk about that, okay? There's an extra go fast button in one of the scenes. They drive through the LA River with helicopters. It was awesome. There's a Dukes of Hazzard scene where he jumps over a bunch of shit in a bridge. It made sense to me. Still liked it. But then it gets to the point where at the end where, of course, the heist doesn't matter because the bad guy is like, you're 12 minutes late, Mr. Cage. You fucked up. I'm going to kill your brother anyways. And they have a showdown, and they kill the bad guy by throwing him off a cliff. And the cop is
like,
thankful.
Hey, you're cool. Okay, I got that guy. You can leave.
Yeah.
The extra murder is fine.
He saves the cop's life by murdering the other guy, and the cop's like, you're cool, dude. And then he tells the cop about the stolen cars. He didn't have to do that either. He's not a very good criminal. And then what gets me here, I don't want to belabor this, but what happened with a car full of heroin?
They put it back.
Oh, they kept that one.
Did they keep it? They put it back. They didn't say anything. They were just like...
I think they put it back.
Nah, they kept that one.
It was unlocked with the keys in it. And he's like, why do you think it was there unlocked? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Because they want someone to steal it. It's like, no. Because they want someone to take it. Like, so I think they just put it back and hope bygones were bygones.
Yeah, because they were like, no one would be stupid enough to steal that car. Because everyone should know whose car that is. And I thought that was gonna come up later. Maybe the guy was gonna show up. Maybe a whole scene, and maybe they cut it out in the made for TV.
Because that would have turned it into a faction movie, and that would have been too much.
Yeah,
a heist
and
movie,
thank God that didn't happen.
Movie and a faction movie.
Much.
Yep, no need to mention factions because it did not happen. Ryan, it's great. No factions here.
You know what the faction
three
movie?
factions is not enough for it to be a faction movie?
No, 3 factions is enough.
No, it's not.
So
There's
police,
no factions.
Gangster, and car thieves isn't 3 factions?
That's a good point. But I guess the gangsters and the
car thieves are kind of...
Car thieves were kind of,
We need
kind of
minimum of 3
opposite.
or 4 factions to be a faction movie.
What about
Power
the mom?
Rangers was a faction
She's kind of a
therapy.
faction.
Or faction therapy. Faction movie.
Okay. All right. He gets Eleanor at the end. They build a cool car for him, and he drives off in the sunset, honk honk. Let's get into our meters. The accelerometer, the car meter. Ryan, what is that meter, please?
The car meter is a meter in which there are cars, and we judge them for it.
Yes. How
car movie was this movie?
Was it
a car movie? Was this like what that dumb friend that you have that kind of says the wrong thing a lot of times, and you can't bring them to all those social situations, but like you've known him for a long time. Is this a movie he would like, or is this a movie that normal people would like? So generally, like, there are a lot of car tropes, for what you would imagine to be a car movie. Because let's face it, there are a lot of movies that have cars in them. Almost every movie.
That's true.
But they're not car movies. So for me, to start my meter, it's like, and this is not quality of the movie meter will come later. Some of the main things are about how intermeshed the characters are with loving cars. And in this movie, this guy literally has a line. He says, I didn't do it for the money. I did it for the cars. And like, that's what we were missing from the movies that purported to be about cars, but were not about cars. It's like, this one, there's a button that you can push and it makes the car go fast. And like, the cars have names and there's a final race at the end to determine the stakes. And it's like not really a race. It's just like stuff happens in a car. And I don't know. This is pretty close. And the whole premise is about cars. It's steal 50 cars. It's not like, go fight bad guy. Also, we have car superpowers. So this is going to have to be another 10.
Yeah.
I think car movies are going to be kind of like this. They're kind of going to be hot or cold because it would be, I think, box office suicide to make like a 4, 5, 6 out of 10 car movie because like you're alienating people who love car movies and you're alienating normal people. So I'll give it a 10. I don't care.
Nice. Second 10. That's the first time we've had 2 10s, I think, in one season. I'm going to kind of overlap a few points that you made, Ryan, because I do think our meters are going to be similar here. So, like I said, first shot was a car. Last shot was a car driving away. Okay, that's the book ends by cars, okay? I don't think cars ever leave the screen for longer than like 5 seconds in this movie. Filmed in LA, there's a lot of car jargon, and 2 people got it on in a car, which I think is also maybe going to be in my meter. Who knows? There was a car shop scene. Like, that's another thing we were kind of paying attention to. If they're going into shops and they're like, oh, we got to fix a piston and blah, blah, blah. That was in there. Car people love that shit. And there was a lot of cars with names in here, including a really prominent one with a name. Yeah, I don't see any reason to not give it a 10. I'm trying to compare this to Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. I think they're on par, on car, if you will. The only thing different here is it's not about racing, but I don't think it has to be about racing. This thing's about driving. It's about fucking cars, man. It's a 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a 10 too.
Yeah, all right. Jace, do you want to elaborate at all, or you 10?
Go-karts, cars, stealing cars, Nicolas Cage, horny for cars. It pretty much speaks for itself.
He wants to fuck the cars. I think he does.
He does.
Great. Movie meters. Ryan, what do you think?
This is the more complicated of the questions.
Yes, it is.
Because part of my excitement while watching this movie was like, oh yeah, this is a car movie. I got like excited knowing that I was probably going to give this a 10. I don't know, makes me excited when something goes so far into one camp. Ultimately, it was a little like boring in some parts, a little long, a little thick on the backstory, which theoretically should make the characters better. But like, I'm a 90-minute man, so I think I'm going to have to go with a 6. And that should illustrate that I did like this movie. I did enjoy watching it. It made me a little car happy. I like some cars.
Yeah.
It made me want to have a nice fun car, which is what car movies I think are propaganda for. So yeah I think 6 is fair. It's a Nicolas Cage movie. There might be a ceiling like there is in dog movies for Nicolas Cage movies as well. So 6 is great.
All right. A 6 out of 10. That's a pretty good score, Ryan. I was thinking about this a lot too. I watched this movie last night. We've run into this problem a lot before about what makes a good movie. Now, if I sat here with a lab coat and a magnifying glass, I could tell you about 100 things wrong with this movie and easily come to the conclusion that it is sloppy trash. But what happens when, I don't know, what happens when a movie kind of knows it's sloppy trash and then makes it so you have fun all the way through? I don't know. I think kind of like the less you think about it, the better, and the movie knows that. It's 2 hours where I was mostly engaged and had a lot of fun. I mean, there was some chase scenes where I was kind of like, my mind was wandering a little bit. Some action set pieces I think could have been cut out. It could have used some cuts, 90 minutes, like Ryan said. I think I'm in agreement there. But overall, they performed this shit as advertised. I was surprised at how effective some of this shit was. I'm thinking also 6 stolen cars out of 10. 6,000 RPMs, excuse me.
I'm going to give the movie a 4. I think the ensemble cast and the ensemble list of cars detracted from how good it could have been. Unlike Tokyo Drift, where you had like 8 really poppin' cars. It was a wide cast net. And I think I watched the 2-hour, 7-minute movie.
You watched the full thing
Yeah.
with all the cussing in it. Was it better with cussing?
It was better with cussing.
You gave it a lower score, though, so that makes me think it's worse with cussing. If you watched the no cussing version,
I think it would be a 3 without cussing.
All right, fair enough. Well, folks, that was Gone in 60 Seconds. That was our fastest review we've done yet.
That's kind of in theme.
We're trying to rebrand a little bit for the car season. Maybe we're trying to make it so we can pump these episodes out for you guys. We've been a little inconsistent. We're trying this thing out. Who knows if we'll keep it, but I think it was effective so far. We're an efficient machine. Folks at home, if you've seen Gone in 60 Seconds, let us know what you think. Maybe go rent it. $3, man, shit. That's an easy amount of money for 2 hours of just like, turning your brain off and watching a movie like this. This is Pete Cage, I think, as well. Just a movie where you're watching some wild ass shit and he's selling the fuck out of it. But folks, we're approaching episode 5. I believe it's my choice for the next movie, right? It's my choice.
Unfortunately.
It's my choice for the
we
the
might
middle
need
of
to
the
go
season,
back to the
okay?
wheel, but yeah.
No,
now.
we're not going back to the wheel, okay? I've got the wheel in my hands. I'm driving this thing. Ryan, this movie is very car. Okay, I won't deny that.
Are you guys? Oh, you gonna have us guess it?
No, I'm not gonna guess it. I'm gonna tell you. I'm doing a little bit of a lead up here. It's very car. This next movie, maybe less car, maybe more car. It stars a car though. It's the car is the main character and it's the title character, and that character is Christine, a Stephen King novel adapted to film. It's about an evil car who is trying to kill somebody. I think we haven't dipped back into the King in a while. It's been since Pet Sematary 2. I think this will be fun. Made in 1983. We're watching Christine.
Thank you.
And,
because I'm in the middle of my horror movie marathon.
Great. We're headed into spooky season.
Fear Fest is going.
Well, we hope you guys will join us next week. I don't know. Watch Christine. Maybe do a Stephen King marathon. I think that'd be fun. Please like and subscribe to our shit. Follow us on YouTube. I'm basically caught up now. We're basically caught up. You can watch our whole Sean season, most of the Sean season at least, on YouTube right now. I'm still active on Threads, baby. Go like our Threads. Keep that flame alive, please. Check out our Instagram stories. They're so fucking funny, guys. I spend so much time on those. I love your likes.
Yeah, they're great. He doesn't post any of the memes I send him.
No, I don't post any of Ryan's memes. I just laugh at them, but I'm probably going to repost them soon because sometimes I need memes to share. Ryan, you got to tell me to post these things. I got to remember. If you have any ideas, if you want to be on the show, also let us know. We're gonna have I want to have a couple guests this season. Please DM us. Let us know if you want to come on the show. We'd love to have you. And with that, is there anything you guys want to close with? Ryan, you do have closing privileges this show. If you want to close on anything.
I like the sentences where we come up with a wise word of advice.
Yeah, a word of advice? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll start.
Okay, you want to popcorn this. You want to do a popcorn word of advice. Driving advice maybe, or car stealing advice?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Cars.
Always.
Break.
When.
You.
Jump.
Through.
A.
Circle of fire.
Aquarium.
While.
Furiously.
Impersonating.
A.
Pirate.
Nice.
We almost stuck the landing of real advice, and it went off so quickly.